Greetings guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. I hope that you are well, and I hope that you are fighting, because there is a lot to be fighting for. Something that you need to know about me is that I spend way too much time on Twitter. Roughly like 3 to 4 hours every day, that's a real problem. I really need to figure that out. And recently I was on Twitter and a tweet from one of my favorite accounts, Conservative Self-Owns, came up on my timeline, and I was like, I haven't made a video about these for so long, and I wanted to do it. So that's what we're doing today. We are looking at some Conservative Self-Owns, which is basically just like conservatives being like so close to the point. They're like right there. They say the correct thing, but they think that they're saying a different thing. And it's very, very funny. And I love it. A few of these are also taken from the account Accidentally Based, which is another brilliant account that I recommend following. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Let's get into it. Student loan forgiveness undermines one of our military's greatest recruitment tools at a time of dangerously low enlistments. And why is that? Is it because the military targets young people who can't afford a further education? Is it because the military very heavily relies on people who have been beaten down by the system and can't afford to live other than by joining the military? Because I think you'll find that that is a problem. So it really hammers it in that they like to keep people poor and uneducated so that they can join the military. Ugh, bit of a self-own with that one, my guy. LGBT public school teachers. You see, kids, you can be and do any kind of sex you feel like, and never say otherwise. That's called hate. Correct. The Gay Crusade, tactic number 7. Gotta watch out for this. This is what they're doing. Re-educate educators that gay kids are a bullied minority. I don't really know how that's re-educated. That is just common knowledge. That is just something that has always been a fact, continues to be a fact. You shouldn't have to re-educate people on that. People are already aware of that. Were you telling people that wasn't true before? Because if you were telling teachers that that wasn't happening before, then you were just lying. I think that it's important for teachers to be informed about why kids are being bullied, but go off. Indoctrinate, confuse school kids that there are many gender choices and all sexual lifestyles are normal and optional. Things like this are not confusing to children. They might be confusing to you, but children haven't been forced into believing in a binary by this point. So being told that there are options outside of the binary isn't confusing. For them, actually, learning a binary is more confusing, because if they feel like they fit outside of that and then they're told that they have to be on this binary, that's gonna be more confusing, isn't it? If you think about it, that's a little bit more confusing. I am interrupting really quickly to say that the podcast is back. Yay! I don't know if you know this, but my best friend Kat and I had a podcast that went for a while called the Savvy Cat Podcast, and we took a break, a really long break. But we are back, and this time with production value. We have a studio. It's in a queer library, which I think is really freaking cool. So if you want to go and check out our podcast, I will link it in the description. It's just a good time to sit and chill and share stories and talk about shit. So if you want to check that out and see more of me unhinged and interacting with another human, go check it out. I appreciate it. Okay, anyway, back into the video. Should I spank my child? A comprehensive flowchart. Are they old enough to understand reason? Yes. Then use reason. And stop hitting your child, arsehole. Are they old enough to understand reason? No. Then they're not old enough to understand the reason you're striking them. Stop hitting your child, arsehole. And someone replied with, what a superficial view, lol. If it was that easy, no reasonable person would ever hit their child. Yeah, that is literally the point. Don't hit your kids. It's not difficult. Thank you for agreeing. Hitting children is ineffective. All it does is teach them fear of misbehaving or doing anything wrong, and it just makes them keep secrets and not be honest with you. So don't hit your kids. Use your words, right? Just talk. Communication. One of the perks of working at the cinema are free movies, except for Disney, which it threatens to remove its movies from the theatre if an employee sees one of their films during opening month for free. We had to wait a month or buy a ticket to see a Disney film. Pure greed. So it's pure greed for them to want you to not see it for free, but not pure greed for you to want to see it for free? The employers are the only reason cinemas can operate. With that logic, grocery store employees should get groceries for free. Exactly. I agree. And I'm going to take that one step further and say that everyone should get groceries for free. We shouldn't have to pay for food. We shouldn't have to work and spend our entire lives contributing to capitalism just to be able to eat food, which we need to survive. Just a thought, just an opinion. But that means housing should be free too. Exactly. I agree. Housing, water, food, all the essentials we shouldn't have to pay for. If you support aborting a clump of cells no longer wanted, then you must support free cancer treatments also. Those cancer victims want to abort those cells, just like a pregnant woman does. Equal treatment under law. Yeah? I'm very confused as to what point this person was trying to make. What were you trying to prove with this? I really want to know how they thought this was a pro-birth tweet, because, like, yes, cancer victims do want to get rid of the cells that are causing the cancer. That is what they want to do, yeah. Are you comparing a fetus to cancer? Because if you are, how is that an argument against abortion? This isn't even against, like, free abortion. This is just against abortion in general. I'm really confused by this take. Yes, cancer treatment should be free. Just putting that out there. Absolutely. Why? How are you against that? And how are you saying that cancer treatment is bad and abortion is... When I was a kid, teachers didn't look like this. What happened? And it's just a teacher with purple hair and tattoos. Teachers are allowed to express themselves more. Everybody, sound the alarms. It's the end of the world. Teachers are allowed to be people that they want to be. They love to call us snowflakes and overreact and get angry about everything. And then they're out here throwing a fucking hissy fit about a teacher with purple hair. Oh no! Children are gonna be in the same room as someone with tattoos and purple hair. It's the end of the world. Be serious. Like, how do you take yourself seriously and think that that is a, like, good take that's not being over dramatic and a snowflake? Because, like, I don't care what my teacher looks like. Never cared what my teacher looks like. I had a bunch of different teachers growing up. I had some more, like, you know, teachers wearing, like, suits and nice clothes and whatnot. And then I also had a teacher who was an ex-tattoo artist who kept his whiteboard markers through his stretched ears. And my principal, when I was in primary school, was an Indigenous lesbian woman who was covered in tattoos. And then my principal at high school was an old white cis-het man. Like, doesn't make a difference to your learning. They're just people. They all have the same qualifications. They just express themselves differently. I'm assuming the person who runs this account isn't much older than me, because I feel like it'd be weird if someone over the age of, like, 25 is running the Libs of TikTok account. I don't know why, but that's really weird and sad to me. And I had teachers who were like that. My biology teacher in year 11 dyed her hair pink and said that I inspired her because I had pink and blue hair at the time. It's funny though, because I say this stuff and they're kind of like, see, you're proving the point. When you have teachers like that, you end up like this, as though that's a bad thing, and also as though every single person I went to school with is now queer. No. It's such a silly argument. It's so funny. Like, well, you turned out like this, so obviously it's bad. There were 1,200 people at my school. Most of them didn't, so... Glasses and contacts should be free because I didn't ask to be blind. True. Nobody asks for anything defective or any kind of sickness at all. In your logic, all healthcare should be free. Yes, I don't understand these takes. There are so many of them, and they think that they've won the argument. They think that they freaking owned the libs. Like, my guy. Yes, all healthcare should be free. I don't know how you can say that and like think that you're saying a bad thing? How does the word free healthcare leave your mouth and you think that that's bad? That's like the most baffling thing ever to me. It's so interesting though, because in places where free healthcare is a thing, most people are not against it, no matter where on the political spectrum you fall. People like having it. Like in New Zealand, right? No matter which party you're for, no matter which one, everyone is for free healthcare. Same as here. Everyone talks about the NHS. Everyone is grateful for it. I don't know how you can be against it. It makes no sense to me. Celebrate with me. My tribe, the Oglala Lakota Nation, I'm really sorry if I pronounced that wrong, has officially banned religious missionaries from the reservation. America is a Christian country. If you don't like our religion, our God, and our missionaries, just go back to your own country. This is one of the worst, but one of the funniest things I have ever read. How do you know so little about your own history and your own country and just the way anything works that you can think this, write this, and put it publicly on the internet? I want you to take 2 seconds, right? Take the words Native and American and put them together and think about that for 1 minute. Native means to be from this place, like exclusively. You live and are from this place. American, that's the place that you are. So Native American are from there. You are just American, not Native, which means that you did not come from there. Now think about the language that you speak, okay? The language you speak is English. Where does the language English come from? The land of the Ing. England. Wow. Mind freaking blown, right? They are home. If you don't like their religion and their culture, maybe you should go back to where you came from. As much as I don't want you here, because I don't like you, like, just take your own advice, you know? This is a cartoon of a petrol car saying to an electric car, "You'll never be a real car." And the tweet accompanying it is, "You will never be a real car. You have no combustion engine. You have no moving parts. You have no autonomy. You are a lithium bomb twisted by engineers and programmers into a crude mockery of automotive perfection. All the validation you get is two-faced and half-hearted." My guy, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it is a duck. If it looks like a car, it functions like a car, and it literally is a car, then it is a car. Just because you and a few of your freaking, like, car dudes don't think electric cars are cars because you have some weird ego that you want to ride on, doesn't mean that they aren't cars. You just are an arrogant asshole who thinks that you're better than everyone else. A very, very large majority of people think that you are the stupid one who really needs to get a reality check and realize you aren't better than everyone, because electric cars are cars. And in fact, they're even better. They're better for the environment. They drive smoother. Just overall, I think they're way cooler. Your argument of saying trans women aren't women and trans men aren't men being equal to electric cars aren't cars is like, thank you, I guess. Trans people are their gender. Deal with it. Electric cars are cars. It's a fucking weird take to have, man. Pick a different hill to die on. So this came up on my timeline. I didn't search for this. It came up and I just wanted to include it because I think it's so funny. I'm a cis guy. I live with an FTM who is pulling new chicks in multiple times a week, and they also give these women the best orgasm of their life. I hear the girls scream in pleasure and beg for more, and the sex can go on for hours. The girls beg to see them again, and it's killing my ego. How am I inferior to an FTM? What are they doing better than me? I try to understand why women would prefer FTM over me, a cis male. I have a penis, yet I never make girls moan for hours like this. My friend literally has women begging to fuck them. What are they doing right that I'm not doing? I have tears as I type this. The problem you have here comes up the second you mention I have a penis, because that implies that you prioritize penetration over everything else, and that is absolutely not the way to go. I'm not here to give you sex advice. Instead, maybe ask the woman that you're sleeping with what they would like, and like communicate with them, or even talk to your friend and get their advice. Don't come asking on 4chan, that's not gonna help, because it's all other fucking cis dudes that also don't know how to pleasure a woman. So, yeah, that's my advice to you, man. Communication. I don't see any path back, at least tonight. I was not looking forward to this speech, and it was bad. We seem determined to continue to unravel this amazing country. Gonna go listen to some live blues music where no one cares about race. Thankfully, there is a 2-drink minimum. So yeah, we're gonna focus in on the highlighted part of gonna go listen to some live blues where no one cares about race. Live blues. Blues music. Where no one cares. Yeah, because blues music is notoriously very white. My guy, you really need to do some music history. Just like, even a little bit. Blues music literally comes from slavery. It comes from African Americans during slavery and at the end of slavery. That is where it comes from. You can't have blues music without racial discourse. Like it's like the fundamental core of the entire genre. So, if you're racist, don't listen to blues music. That's basically. We are hearing that Rayla Campbell was late to her own Back the Blue rally due to being detained by police. She was showing people the book Genderqueer and saying it was child porn, so someone reported her for possession of child porn. Whoever called this in is my hero. Because imagine walking around with a book being like, hey, did you see this book I have of child... You know, you see this book? Look at it. Look at this book. Why are you in possession of that? And why are you so eager to show other people it? How are you walking around claiming that in your hand you're holding that and not expect people to question you or call you in? Because I don't know if you know this, but that is bad. You shouldn't. So I would hope that you are genuinely aware that that's not what it is, because otherwise I would hope and assume that you wouldn't have that in your hands and you wouldn't have looked through it. Maybe don't take this topic so lightly and don't be gloating about being in possession of that. Oh my god. I hope you learned your lesson, and I hope that you realize that that is not what it is. I would have loved to see her explain this to the police, of being like, no, it's not actually child. How did that interrogation go? I'm really curious to know. And what were the charges? Were there any? I would assume not, because you weren't in possession of anything illegal. Anyway, this is where I'm finishing the video. I am about to go and film a podcast episode. So subscribe to our podcast channel, Savvy Cat Productions. I make a podcast with my best friend Kat, who is the one who captions all my videos. So everyone say thank you, Kat. Yeah, it's out every second Friday. This is season 2. We took a 1-year break, but we're back now. We uploaded our first episode a week ago. If you want to go check that out, and then subscribe, and we'll see you in a little while for our next one. A big thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on screen right now. And a massive thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Wolf, Toulouse, Bobby, Sparrow, Josh, Mandy, Robbie, Christy, Robin, The Alienated Librarian, Resendo, Akita, Dusty, and Skylar. I love and appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for joining. If you would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat. For as little as £1 a month, you get videos a day early, and then you get more perks as you go up in tiers. So yeah, I really appreciate the support. It means the world to me. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I have music on Spotify that I keep forgetting to tell you about. I haven't released anything for 2.5 years, but it exists. My end screen song is one of my songs. I think a lot of people don't know that, but it is. So it's called Monsters and Fairies, if you want to listen to that. I also have a second channel, if you don't know. It's Kiwi with a Q. I have so much to promote. Whew. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.
When you close your eyes.